Bonjour, mode copine. Bienvenue à machine.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.
So, on today's episode, we are talking about French style for a minimalist wardrobe. As you can see, I'm not French. No, not so much. I am, however, a French enthusiast, and yes, I have a lot of interest in their sort of approach to style and culture. So I think a big reason why French style is such a hot topic currently is because minimalist wardrobes are kind of a hot topic currently. And I think because both as well are not a trend, they're both a sort of lifestyle. They are a lifelong approach. Because there's a lot of takeaways from the French style that translate into a minimalist style, I think this is why they're both a popular parallel topic. Today, I just want to talk about those key takeaways from the French style and how they translate into a minimalist style or a minimalist wardrobe. Some of the women that I look to for this French aesthetic is, I've mentioned before, I love Justine Leconte, as well as that is Camille Cherriere and Caroline de Maigret. I'd say Caroline is probably the one that speaks to my own personal style aesthetic the most. But all of them sort of have the approach that I personally like to take to my minimalist wardrobe. So that is why I want to talk about it today, just because it's kind of fun to compare. So, commençons. Okay, so number one is no labels, just fashion. So one of the things I've learned about French women, and again, this is not all French women, they don't really care for labels because ultimately they are looking for pieces that are all about the fashion, the aesthetic, the timelessness, and pieces that aren't about the name, but more so the style and how that style is going to last over time. As somebody that has a minimalist wardrobe, I see labels as sort of a timestamp and can sometimes not be quite as timeless. And what I mean by labels are pieces that are kind of obnoxiously labels. There's plenty of things that I've purchased that have labels, but in an understated way. And the reason why I'm pulled into those things is because I know that those things are going to maintain their relevancy over time. Whereas I think when you have things that are obnoxiously, I say obnoxious meaning just kind of in your face labels, they're not always going to be sort of as relevant, they're not always going to be as timeless. Number two is more neutrals, less color. So I feel like myself with my minimalist wardrobe and a lot of the French women that I look to, we have this in common. It is more about neutrals and less about colors because neutral colors are just, again, it comes down to being very timeless. They're just so much more easy to style, and not only style on a daily basis, style differently over the years, in my opinion. When I have a neutral color or neutral palette, it allows for me to basically reinvent that piece over the years however I need it to be because it is got that neutral palette. As well as that, I think a big part of it is, especially for the French, is that they're all about that understated sort of palette so that the style can be your style, your own personal style can be the showpiece. Okay, so number three is a long-term relationship with their wardrobe. So this is one of the ones I think that the French approach to a wardrobe has the most in common with a minimalist approach to a wardrobe because I think both are interested in having that long-term relationship with their wardrobe. They are looking at every single piece that they're bringing into their closet as something that they are going to have for years and years and years. And they don't really want to bring anything in that they don't absolutely love and need for that reason, because they want to be able to maintain that love for the years to come, for better or worse, right? Okay, number 4 is quality over quantity. I think as a culture, they're definitely more about quality versus quantity. I mean, it's even the case with their food. Having amazing, good quality, delicious food, but just, yeah, they're just not overindulging in it. That's always what people are the most shocked about when they come over here from like Europe or England, is our portion sizes at restaurants, which, I mean, I'm okay with it because then I get like 2 or 3 meals out of it, you know, all about that bang for my buck, but I've completely digressed. So, okay, number 5 is timeless over trends. In order to keep that long-term relationship, you ultimately have to be choosing timeless pieces that aren't going to go out of style, that are going to be easy to change up. And I think when you bring in trendy pieces, you limit yourself a lot more. Not that I don't think that some French people, as well as minimalists like myself, don't sprinkle in a few trends in there as well. Still want to be on trend and, you know, partake in the fun sort of excitement of different trends each season, but I just think it's a lot more mindful. And I think when it comes to the key investment pieces, they're going to choose timeless over trendy. And that's the beauty of having a timeless or a neutral wardrobe. It is easy to just, you know, get a few little pieces here and there over the years that can kind of spice things up, can kind of change things up a little bit in a very easy, effortless way. Okay, number 6 is practicality is key. I talk about this all the time on my channel. I love practicality. I think it's more so referring to practicality in the sense of always kind of dressing weather appropriate and environment appropriate. So whether or not they're in the city or, you know, in the country, it's important as a minimalist to have a wardrobe that works for you on a daily basis, that makes sense for you on a daily basis. Okay, so number 7 is black. You can never go wrong with black. I think the French have basically been the reason why black is associated with chic, because black encompasses so many of the things that we've already talked about here today. It's not obnoxious, it's timeless, it's neutral, it's practical. As well as that, I think black's very flattering as well. I think it's very slimming, very elongating. I don't know if that's the reason why the French love black, but I know for myself and for my minimalist wardrobe, that's why I love black. Okay, so number 8 is multiples of favorite fits. The French are very good at choosing their uniforms, they're choosing their silhouettes of outfits that they like and sticking with those silhouettes. Having a minimalist wardrobe, it is really important to sort of figure out those fits, those silhouettes, those pieces that you love and work for you. You maintain that love and that excitement for the outfits. I think there's definitely a time and a place to step outside of that comfort zone for sure. But I think for the most part, you figure out the fits that work for you and that's what you stick with. It is kind of that idea of not being boring, but just knowing what you like and knowing what works for you and just sticking to that, because it will then ensure that you're gonna have those pieces that you really, really love. Number 9 is intention with shopping. Some of the French women I've heard speak have said how shopping is sort of an event. They treat it as an event, as an experience, as a memory. They might go with their mom or their friends or their sisters, whatever it is, and it's treated like an event. So it's not just this passive thing that you do just to do. I'd say most French people that you speak to, I wouldn't say that they're into a shopping haul. They're not going to go shopping and come back with bags and bags of stuff. And so I think for myself, as my approach to a minimalist wardrobe, I've spoke about this before. When I shop, and lately it's been basically just online shopping, I go into it with intention. So I know what I need and I don't really step outside of that. So I kind of stick to that mission. But as well as that, if there is a piece that I come by accident, that I sort of stumble upon and fall in love with and just basically become obsessed with and just can think about all these different ways I can style it and just get giddy about it, then I will also go for that item as well. And I think that's very similar to the French. I think they're very much about that romanticism when it comes to finding a piece, like finding a piece that just, you know, they have chemistry with. Okay, and number 10 is be yourself and love what you wear. I think this is what the French do best. I think that's one of the things that pulls me into the French culture, to French people, is just the way that they love who they are. They own who they are. I think a big part of the French culture is they embrace flaws because they see it as, you know, little unique details to each person. And I think there's such beauty in that as well. I completely 100% agree with that, because that's what makes us unique. And I think when you do that, everything that you put on, you will love. As somebody that's taking an approach to a minimalist wardrobe, I think this is absolutely key as well, because when you just love who you are and own those flaws, all those pieces, whether you have 30 pieces in your wardrobe or 300 pieces in your wardrobe, if you do that, everything will look good on you. So there we go. All right, you guys, that is it. That is it for today. Yes, 10 French style approaches for a minimalist wardrobe. If there's anything that you would like to add, if there's any questions, please comment below. I hope that today's episode was helpful, maybe entertaining, and if you thought so, please give me that thumbs up, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe for future weekly episodes. You have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day, and we will definitely be chatting soon. Au revoir. Devant tes vagabonds.